Hey guys, welcome back. It's day 20 of the Pantry No Spend Challenge. And Marilyn covered bartering, and what I'd like to talk about today is keeping stuff in your pantry that you can use for smaller denomination bartering or trade. There's lots of different reasons to create something with a value that you keep in your pantry for either barter or trade. And it could be economic failure. It could be we switch to a digitized monetary system so there's no longer cash. Or it could just be as simple as you just don't have the cash to purchase that good or service that you're trying to obtain. So today we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you how I make small denomination tradable items. Lots of people have their thing that they believe is going to be what's best to stock up on that you can use in trade with other people. But I still think coffee is one of the more important ones to consider. If you drink coffee, and I don't drink a lot of coffee, you may see me with a mug always in my hand, but it's usually the same mug from the morning that I haven't gotten around to yet. So I don't drink a lot of coffee, but if I miss that cup of coffee in the morning, I get a migraine. I get a headache that is going to split my skull in two. And if anyone has ever felt that, you'll understand why I believe coffee is a very important barter piece. People are going to want it. And when they can't get it, and you're the only one who's holding little packets, I think it's going to be fairly important. The other beauty of instant coffee is it's not the best tasting coffee, but it gets the job done. And all it requires is water. You can add it to cold water and make iced coffee. You can add it to lukewarm water and have it the same way I drink my coffee. You can add it to hot water and have a nice hot cup of coffee. All you need is water and a bag of instant coffee, and you can get your caffeine fix. Now, when it comes to instant coffee, they come in different sizes and shapes, but basically they're all about 120 cups per jar. Now, if I'm going to trade somebody for something large, I might want to trade a jar of instant coffee. But typically, if I need a little bit of sugar from my neighbor, or if I'm trying to purchase a new handle for an axe, I'm not going to trade an entire jar of coffee for that. But what I can do is make individual packets. Each packet is the equivalent of 2 servings, because in these jars they say 1 serving is a heaping teaspoon per 6-ounce mug. And a 6-ounce mug is not going to cut it, at least not here in the States. So I do 2 heaping teaspoons. It's the equivalent of a 12-ounce or a standard size mug, and they can use it however they want. This is what I consider a single serving. So that means out of your typical jar, any of these, I can get 60 of these individual packets. So I'm going to show you how I make these up. You can fill them with coffee. You can fill them with Tang, High C, any kind of a drink powder, whatever you think that people are going to want in trade for something. Maybe baby formula. You can make up packets for that for anybody who may have a small child. Today we'll be making instant coffee, and I'll show you how I make the packet and how I fill it and how I seal it. And then you'll have something that you can stock up in your pantry that you can use as a small denominational trade for goods and services. So the first thing we need to do is create the packaging. I make these type of Mylar packages, and they'll hold 2 to 3 teaspoons. I put 2 teaspoons of instant coffee, which is a strong 12-ounce cup. So you can add more or less, depending. But these packages here, I make out of 10 by 14 Mylar bags. And it's actually, I can get 12 of these from 1 Mylar bag. So I'll show you how I do it, and we'll move on from there. Now, the way I do this is I take the large bag and fold it in half. because we're going to be doing 6 pouches on each side of this bag, so I can divide it right up the middle. And what's cool about Mylar, if you fold it, it'll hold that crease, and that's my mark that I'm going to be sealing on. So the next thing I want to do is I can either fold this in thirds, if you trust yourself, or you can see I made marks down here. You can measure each of these packets is going to be about 2 1/4 inches. So you can either measure and fold on your marks, or like I said, you can just fold it into thirds and create those fold marks, those lines. So I'm just going to finish doing that here. Like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Like that. So now I've got all of my, I don't want to call them cut marks, but these will be my cut lines marked on the Mylar. So the next thing we need to do is bring this over to the sealer, and I'm going to seal right along this mark. I'm going to use this Mylar bag sealer. Mine doesn't have a cutter, it just seals. So I'm going to have to use scissors to cut this out afterwards. If yours has a cutter, even better. But I'm just going to start with the open end of the Mylar bag. Right on the very edge of that, I want to seal that. Just like that, and that closes the end of the bag up. Now I'm going to seal on each of those folds that I did. And one more. Okay. Now we have all of our individual pouches kind of created. I just need to cut this out. Back over to the island. All right, now that everything has been sealed up, I'm going to fold the bag in half the lengthways. Put a nice sharp crease on that. All right, and now with a pair of scissors, or if you have a really big paper cutter, you could use that as well. I'm just going to cut right along that center seam. And this cut doesn't have to be as accurate as your next ones. Okay, once that's cut out, now the trick is where you sealed, cutting right up the middle of that seal so as not to break the seam on either side. And there's your individual pouch. So I'm just going to finish cutting all of these up, and when I'm done, I'll bring you back and we'll fill these with coffee, seal them up, and get them labeled. Well, I sealed and cut up 2 10x14 bags, so I've got 24 of these packets. And the way I'm going to fill these up is I've got 3 different brands here of instant coffee. These are store brands. I'm sure if you get an actual brand name of coffee, it's not going to matter. They're all the same. These are all, even though the jars are different, 120 servings, and the recommended amount is 1 heaping teaspoon per 6-ounce mug or 6-ounce cup. Here in the United States, your typical coffee cup is 12 ounces. So I'm doubling that per packet. I'm going to do 2 heaping teaspoons per packet. And because these have 120 servings each, that's 60 packets I can make from each jar. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna go through all of this today, but just to show you how I do this. Pop open the end of the packet. Whoops. And just take a teaspoon and another teaspoon. And that one's ready to go. And then I can bring these, when I'm finished filling them up, over to the Mylar bag sealer and just seal the bags. Then I can write a date on these or what they are. You want to label what these are so you don't confuse them if you make juice packets or any other kind of an instant packet. Label it, make sure the date is on it, and get these in your pantry. And these are going to be, I think, worth more than gold. People can't eat or drink gold, but when they're having a migraine because they're not getting coffee, these are going to be worth a lot. So these right here are, in my opinion, one of the best barter or trade items that you can get in your pantry. Well, with the help of Marilyn, I've got all of the 24 plus a few that I already had filled, labeled, and sealed. I'm just going to keep them in a box in the pantry. And anytime I need to use something in barter where somebody wants coffee in trade, I don't have to give away an entire jar of coffee or an entire bag of beans or ground beans. I can just give them a cup at a time, or maybe whatever they're doing is worth 5 cups of coffee. It's a lot easier to barter when you have smaller amounts to barter with. Not every trade is going to be worth, you know, $100 worth of product. It may just be a day's labor or a little bit of work, or maybe that extra cup of sugar that you're borrowing from the neighbor, but he could use a good cup of coffee. That's what this is all about. And I don't have to do all of them at once either. I can just put this in the pantry, and when I have free time, just go to my jars, and it's like having my own printing press at home. I can just print out money anytime I feel like making some little Mylar packets, labeling them, filling them from the jars, and then putting them here to be used for trade later on. If you've got something that you think is going to be better than coffee that you keep in your pantry, let us know in the comments below. What do you think is a really good barter item? Is it tobacco? Do you think bullets are a decent trade? I personally don't, because anybody who needs them already has them. Coffee, I think, is going to be important, and with the prices of coffee going up the way they're going now, some people are just not going to be able to afford a cup of coffee. And then when, you know, you can't get a cup of coffee, or if we have a situation where you're not going to have printed money anymore, maybe it's a digital currency that we're working with, how are you going to buy something from your neighbor? There won't be yard sales. There won't be individual sales anymore, because we'll be in a cashless system. And I think that's where having small pieces of barter that you can have a cashless trade or sale with somebody is going to come important. Let me know what you think below in the comments. And until the next video, talk to you later. Bye.